That gradual release of control can be really tricky. I've learned to trust the teacher. Some teachers let go too quickly, but they realize it and they back up and they provide a little bit more support and the kids get to where they need to be. Other teachers initially have trouble letting go, and students are ready to go more independently, ready to start writing more on their own, but the teacher's still doing the collaborative writing with them. And what we're seeing is what you would expect with any instructional approach. As teachers have more experience with it, they're more fluent, they're more adaptive, and they're more able to make judgments for individual students and differentiate and individualize to the needs in their classroom.
Now we're going to talk specifically about each stage, and we're going to go through them in a more in-depth way so you can see how they look and how they progress. The first one is activate and develop background knowledge. It includes getting students interested about that genre. It's important that they connect that genre to their life. We also want to know what they know about this genre. Do they have the pre-skills to begin? Do they have the vocabulary necessary to proceed? We are also going to read and discuss models during this stage to try to activate what they already know and fill in those gaps. After we assess their skills, we're going to begin teaching a strategy or a mnemonic. And then we're going to briefly introduce in this stage the self-regulation and goal-setting strategies. We want to assess what the students know, and if we can trigger information they already have and they produce it when we pre-assess, that saves us time and we're not teaching them something they already know. Some of the important aspects of second stage discuss it are: we discuss the significance and benefits of the self-regulation strategies that we want to develop. We want to focus on students' current writing and self-regulation abilities, what they say to themselves, their attitudes, and their beliefs about writing. All of the steps in the writing process are discussed, including mnemonics and goals. A key premise in SRSD is that we want mastery of skills and we expect it. We use models and we use graphic organizers to help students determine the difference between an effective and an ineffective essay. It's also critical at this stage to build collaborative partnerships and to get student commitment to the task. In the discuss it stage, we actually go through all of the tasks that we keep repeating over and over again later. So these are the important ideas, the basis. It sets this groundwork that we built in stage one even deeper and embeds it into students' thinking so that when we get to the stage three, which is modeling these ideas, these concepts, they'll have a knowledge of them before the teacher starts to model. The different aspects of model it are that the teacher uses interactive modeling. In other words, they back and forth with the students, or a full collaborative lesson. And they do these modelings with planning the writing, actually writing, and then the self-regulation strategies should be embedded. The teacher will think aloud while planning and writing an actual composition, and throughout that, thoughtfully use self-regulation strategies. They will use language that's natural and, most important, enthusiastic. The important aspects of Memorize It are that teachers want to ensure here that they've memorized the strategy. We begin memorizing in stages 1 through 3, but we take some time during this stage to verify that students have memorized the steps. Basically, we want students to internalize the strategy using the mnemonic and personalized self-statements. This stage is important, especially for struggling students. And if they don't have it internally, when they're out in other classes or they're having their state test and they're asked to write a certain kind of essay, if they haven't memorized it, they're not going to be able to use it. So it's critical that we make sure struggling students have this down. The aspects of the supported stage that are important are the need for teacher scaffolding of the strategies that have been previously taught in stages 1 through 3. The teacher also provides as much support as is needed for students to attain their goals. There will also be collaborative writing, development of self-statements, and this is where we really think about generalization of skills. The research is really clear that in order for students to be successful and independent, that we have to gradually release the responsibility of instruction to them. And we do this by introducing, modeling, and then the collaborative writing and planning, and then eventually they do it themselves. Stage 6, the independent stage, is what we're all working for. We provide an opportunity to move students who've not already switched from that overt to covert writing. The use of graphic organizers and self-instruction planners is usually not necessary for the majority of students, so this is where they fade out. Our goal is to have students independently update their own self-regulation plans. Generally, this stage continues the fading of scaffolds from stage 5 to complete independence. Work in this stage also ensures that transfer to other environments is implemented. If I could wrap up all the 6 stages, here are the important takeaways or the big ideas that I want you to go away with, and they are: the 6 stages provide a general format and guidelines for you. And there's many ways that the stages can be reordered, combined, and made recursive. It's also important for teachers to personalize and individualize strategy instruction. In some instances, teachers have introduced self-instruction in stage 2 instead of stage 3 because kids were ready for it and needed it. And that was a teacher call, and that's perfectly wonderful. Those are the kinds of customization that we expect teachers to make.